all. My name is Jasmine Jones, and I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. Today we are reviewing Abbott Elementary, Season 2, Episode 14, Valentine's Day. How y'all doing? So, I like how they made this show episode 14. Of course, I'm sure they did it on purpose because, Valentine's Day, right? And so, it's I just thought it was interesting. But this episode just kind of highlights how these niggas is just in the wrong relationships with the wrong people. And it's just, unnecessariness and things like that. So anyways, we start off this episode with just we get to meet Janine's sister. Yes, God. And her sister is FaceTiming her, and Jacob comes in and sees her about to call her sister. And so she calls her sister. And her sister just like, she asks her how she's doing, and her sister's just telling her how she's doing. Like, oh, I'm about to go out with some friends, they just got married and things. And, Janine's just acting all the extras. All of the extras. And what's happening here, and I realized it was happening here because she was projecting her own behaviors onto her sister, which made it obvious after she hung the phone and was talking to Jacob and was, basically saying things that her sister did that she actually does. Yes. That's projecting. You saying things that you actually do, but you're saying the other person does it. You're not seeing yourself. And so basically, when she was talking about what happened when she was a kid, like these little snippets, how her mom was neglectful and how her mom and her sister always argues and how she had to get in between them and she had to be the fixer in the family. Like, we all play a role in our families. So, there can be the fixer, there can be the golden child, there can be the, what is it? There's a bunch of them. I'm going to put a list here of the roles, but you can play a different role in your family based off of just how your family treats you. And so if your parents are putting a lot of weight on you to be a fixer, then you'll be a fixer. If your parents are putting a lot of weight on you and view you as the problem, then you'll be the problem. And so that's what is happening here. Janine was the fixer. And it feels like because mom was getting into arguments all the time with the sister, that the sister was the black sheep, the scapegoat. So that's another role. So the scapegoat of the family is the person in the family. Usually it's one of the kids, that every problem in the family is blamed on that kid. Oh, I couldn't pay the mortgage. It's your fault. You were bothering me all day and I forgot to pay the mortgage. And it's like, girl, you're an adult. This is a 12-year-old. You forgot to pay the mortgage because you forgot to, girl. And so, so it feels like her sister had the role of, what is it? Lord Jesus. Scapegoat. Keep forgetting that. Scapegoat. And so we see that dynamic as Janine is talking to her. She's not just projecting how she feels on her or who she is onto her sister. She's also treating her sister like she's a problem. Like, now it looks like her sister's in a healthier place. I mean, we didn't get to see much of her. She didn't talk that much, but she seems like she's she's moved away from the toxicity of her family and things. And it seems like she's redoing her life over. So there's not much that you can find, but if you've lived your whole life with this rhetoric of this person being the scapegoat or the bad person in the family, then it's hard to detach from that and be like, oh no, now she's healed. It's kind of the same thing as if your abuser went to therapy, and then let's say like your dad physically abuses you and everyone else in the house, and then one day he just ups and goes to therapy. Oh shit. and he's ups, and then he just comes back. And he's just like, leave it to Beaver Dad. Just the perfect father. One day he's hitting you in the face. The next day he's the perfect dad. And that lasts. It stays. But the thing is like, Okay, I can't just turn off the reputation that you've built in this household since I was born and just switch over and act like you're brand new and you're not going to hit me in the face anymore. Like that takes that's a process of people getting used to you and turning around their idea of you in their mind. Basically, you have to prove to people that you've changed and that your reputation from your past is not the reputation that you have now in your present. And, just keep up that consistency of change and recognize that people are still going to react to you in a similar way if you're a hurtful person. If they've been around you and they've known you to be a hurtful person until they've calmed down their reactive system, and work through their own traumas of being around. And some people never work through that trauma and you become a phobia to them. And basically they can't be around you because even no matter how much they heal, they keep having these reactions around you, and it hurts that you have harmed somebody in that way to the point where they cannot be around you whether you're healed or not, but it is what it is. So with Janine, she's still reacting to her sister as if her sister is the same. But the difference here is that her sister wasn't the abusive person. So, it's kind of like y'all were in the trenches together and y'all was dealing with y'all moms together. And, like your sister it doesn't sound like she did anything to Janine. It sounds more so like Janine felt that she had to fix the relationship between her sister and her mom, and then her mom neglected them both and argued a lot with her sister because the sister was the fighter. Janine was the I would say maybe the freezer or flight. So fight, flight, or freeze. I think she's flight and she freezes. And then sometimes in her own little way, she's a fighter because she overly tries to fix things. But that's still kind of like a passive way of dealing with things. You're not really dealing with them head on. You're trying to, you're putting the weight on yourself for these things to stop when in reality, they're not controlled by you. They're controlled by the people that are doing the things. And so I mean, her sister did nothing to her, so far as we know. And so your construct of her is built up because of your mom. And so it's on you to go get that fixed because your sister's just here acting normal. You're the one projecting all these and then she gonna hold her phone to the chest talking about, see, she's just so extra and just TMI. But she just said that they got married and they hanging out. Like, what's TMI about that? You just reaching for shit. And she just this ain't back in the 90s when we had the rotary fucking phones and shit. Bitch, she can hear you. Like, the mic is on the bottom of the phone. Like, you literally have to cover that shit with your thumb. You should have just muted it. Like, she heard you say that she's extra and something's bad. Bet she heard her. I'm not gonna bet anything. I'm just gonna say bet because it sounds fun and exciting, but because I'm not losing anything. But bet she heard her. And so I'm just like, Janine, girl. So there's still some issues there with Janine. There's still some problems with But I just thought that dynamic, even though it was just a short snippet in the front, it still applies to who she is as a person. Like, how often is she projecting shit on people? Like, how often is she not mindful and present and just constantly living based off the past? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it still applies to everything else. So anyways, let's get to so we'll get to the shorter parts out the way. So Brenda and Melissa, they out here trying to find Brenda's trying to find a place to have her little Valentine's Day with her husband because they didn't do reservations because they got busy. This girl gonna reserve a place at the airport and not know that you have to buy a ticket. And because I was thinking when Jacob was talking about the airport, I was just like, don't you have to buy a ticket to get to the side with the food and the restaurants and stuff? Like, some airports do have restaurants out, but they don't want you loitering and shit in the airport, like, unless you're going to get on the plane. So not a lot of airports have like the restaurants out in it like that. So that's what I was thinking. And then when she reserved it, I was just like, okay. And then Melissa told her she had to buy a ticket, and this girl gonna say, I've been cruising for the past 2 decades. And I was just like, I just don't do cruises. I don't do cruises. I just feel like you get into international waters, there's no laws if you end up dead. You know how many people have ended up missing on cruises and they never found them? And then I just don't like my vacation structured. Like, I don't want to have to go back to the boat. I don't want to have to like go to the captain's dinner. Like, I'm not doing that shit, nigga. Like, I want to do what the fuck I want to do. I mean, cruises are for not for everyone, but you know, the ones that like it, that's cool. That's not against you. I'm just saying, like, I just don't see the fun in cruises to have a vacation. But some people need the structure. Like how I always like to say, like, some people can hustle and grind and build a career out of nothing. And some people need the structure of college. You know, you need to be able to go step by step by step and see a clear direction so that you can make money. I'm that people's. I mean, I still was able to start my own business with that structure though. Like, that structure made it easy for me to start my own business versus me just life coaching it from high school and oh gosh, I'm not laughing at the idea of it. I'm just laughing at the idea of me doing some shit. Oh gosh, if I didn't have college all that time to help me heal and experience my mental health, oh, I don't know where I would have been. I'd probably been pregnant, 5 or 6 kids, some nigga that's gone off and ran off. No, my mental health was not there in my early 20s. Like, if I didn't have education and my anxiety that kept me afraid of getting various diseases and being raped, I would have been a whole different bitch by now. I thank God that he showed me the path to go on, because no, nigga, like, you need to know yourself first. You need to know yourself before you make like life altering decisions, like getting married and having children. And like, that's a human that you're growing up into the world that will affect the world. Like, you can't just be pussyfooting around with that type of shit. You know what I mean? So I'm so happy that I did not have kids in my 20s. I was just a mess, broken. Time I think back on it, just damn it, what the fuck was wrong? I mean, I know what was wrong with me, but it's like, when I look, it's embarrassing, it's cringy, it's like, oh, I said, oh, I fucked, oh, damn. I was crying there. Oh, wow, I had a whole mental breakdown. Whoa, them memories. I allowed that nigga to, oh, God. So, you know, like, if I didn't have the structure of college, then I would not have been where I am now. And so some people need structure. And so, what was I saying? With cruises, found it. With cruises, I mean, like, if you think of the whole, like, ways, the various different ways you could travel, some people probably just need the structure of having their whole itinerary set. And that's vibes. I'm an Aries though. I'm probably gonna say that they be saying Aries, say they Aries all this. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a motherfuck, bitch. I'm an Aries. And so we need to be individualistic. Anyway, so oh Lord. This is a dialed down me. I'm not even like tipsy yet. This is who I am. And so anyways, what was I saying? So she like had to figure it out. At some point, I guess she figured it out. And then Melissa was like feeling the type of way because like her dude, the vending machine dude, hadn't said shit about Valentine's Day. No, nigga, that's traumatizing. I've never had a Valentine's Day with a nigga, but I've had a Valentine's Day where I had to wait and see if a nigga was gonna do anything, and it never happened. That shit is traumatizing. Like, don't surprise me like that. Don't wait till the end of the day, on the day of my birthday, Valentine's Day, Christmas, to say some shit. That is not a surprise that I want, okay? Say something in the morning. Give me like a little something, an idea that you remembered that it was the day. And then plan something special at night if you want to surprise me and shit. But acknowledge it. Acknowledge it at some point, because I will have a mental breakdown and I will cuss you the fuck out by 12 noon that day. Because I will have sat in it for half the day wondering why this nigga ain't said happy birthday. to me. And I would have created a whole Game of Thrones, all 6 seasons, but with a better ending season in my head by noon, of why, various different reasons as to why. There'll be characters. Oh, I bet it's that bitch that he was talking to that he said was his secretary assistant. I bet they be fucking after work. I bet he be talking to her. He probably got a whole family with her little 3 kids. And he been lying to me this whole time. He done forgot my motherfucking birthday because he got 3 kids with some bitch. And he been lying. Yes, he has. He got a whole family. I'm a other woman. He done made me another woman. I'm about to break up with this nigga and I will type out a whole paragraph of why I think he ain't shit. And then, I'll send it. I'll be like, I just feel like, this is a special day, and I don't know if you forgot that it's a special day, but I feel like you did this on purpose, because why would you not know who I am and what my birthday is? So since you forget niggas' birthdays, you can stay out that you don't have to come. You don't have to come home. You can stay out there. I celebrate my birthday on my own, nigga. Whole paragraph of that shit. Just for this nigga to have had planned some 10-course meal or some shit at some fancy restaurant that he bought out. Cause I said I'm gonna marry a rich man, and I am. I don't give a fuck what y'all think. And maybe he'll have enough money that he just bought out Disneyland for the day, and then would have potentially ruined all that, But my thing is if you with me and, because I'm very clear. I don't drop hints. Like, if you ask me what I like, I will clearly tell you. And these are things that I will say on, the first, second, third day. Like, oh, I'm a very romantic person. I love romance and flowers and sparkly things. I mean, I've never really been surprised by things, but I like surprises. But don't do surprises on my birthday or Christmas or, those holiday type of days. Don't just not, and if you are going to do a surprise, don't just not acknowledge the day for the whole day, because that will fuck with my mental health. So, see, I say these things ahead of time. So if you do them, I am justified in pulling back and looking at you like you fucking stupid. So I understood where Melissa was coming from. She didn't even realize that the thing in the vending machine said "I love you." The chocolates were a clear heart, and that's how love deprived this bitch is. Okay. So when she was reading that shit and talking about, what does that say? That's some shit I would do exactly to a T. Like, literally, if some nigga proposed to me, I would think I was high and having my first hallucination ever. And I would be like, what's happening? I'd be like Jack Skellington in Christmas Land. Like, what's this? What is, there's magic in the... I wouldn't know what to do. Like, I wouldn't believe it. It would not be believable to me. So the fact that she couldn't even see that was a heart, I was just like, yes, girl. See what trauma does to you, y'all? That's why you got to get healed and shit, And it's a lifelong healing. It's not like you don't stop because we continue. Just like animals and shit evolve, our growth continues till the day we die. Even after death, our body sinks into the earth and nourishes the earth for years to come and grows different plants and feeds animals that will feed other animals. You see how that works? We keep going on and on. You know what I mean? So, don't fuck with people's traumas and shit. I'm sure this bitch, they had some late nights where they was cuddled up and she was talking about all her shit she been through and how she ain't never been loved before and all sorts of shit like that. Don't do nobody like that. Don't go a whole day and not say some shit on a special day, because you fucking with people's traumas. Like, most, especially women, femmes, whatever, people that ain't been loved properly before and just got to a place of healing, you gonna knee-jerk reaction them into fucking you up. They're gonna be healed enough to not beat your ass, but they not gonna be healed enough to like not knee jerk reaction and break the fuck up with you and act like what? Like you forgot my birthday, so I had it planned for 8 tonight, and there was gonna be roses, and I bought out a restaurant at Disneyland. I'll be like, well, you should have said at least a happy Valentine's Day or something. Like, what the fuck was I supposed? I already had you with 3 kids on the other side of the planet. In a different country, in a cottage in Scotland. And the kids was mixed. It was a white bitch. I already had your season in my head. It was already there and planned, and it ended. The finale was 30 minutes ago. Oh gosh. Something's wrong with me. You can't see my okay, good. I was like, oh wait, okay. So anyway, so I got it. I understood. She been through shit. Melissa ain't been loved properly before. She don't know what that feels like. So yeah, she was shocked and amazed and like, yeah. But I understood the build up over the day. She tried to act like it didn't bother her and shit. But I know she built up 15 different scenarios in her head all day just thinking about why he ain't said nothing yet. Why he ain't said at least he could at least say a happy he could at least say a happy Valentine's Day to me and stuff. Like should I text him for fuck that shit. I'm not texting you first. I am a lady. I will be treated like a lady. Okay. You ain't watch Martin Lawrence. Don't say shit to me. So anyways, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the story. Jacob's kind of involved. He's just being his nosy, gossipy motherfucking self. Oh, wait. One more, Ava. So Ava, the dude that plays the dad in the show that complained about his son having a white teacher, Jacob, I went to high school with him, so that was interesting. So this dude comes and he is complaining about his son having a white teacher and it being Black History Month and da-da. So Ava decides to sit in on a class with Jacob. And so Keita did that, nigga. She slipped in that shit about Martin Luther King real nice. She was like, and him and Malcolm X had the same views by the time that they were murdered. Murdered, not died, murdered. And there is even a video clip I saw someone posted on Martin Luther King Day where he was like, and the dream that I was talking about before, I think that was a nightmare. These motherfuckers was about to set some shit off and they killed these motherfuckers. Y'all want to see set it off? That shit would have happened and it would have been amazing. It would have been magical. Because the thing is like, I don't think Black people would have been out here like, let's kill Whitey. No, I think we would have got our rights and our freedoms as we should and deserved, and we would have forced the issue to be treated as human beings, and then we would have went off and just left the fuck alone, just like we did with Black Wall Street. We just went off and left the fuck alone, and we built empires and shit because that's who we are, and they bombed us because they were hillbillies, jealous hillbillies. Yeah, squad. Like I can see how the dream. So you got segregation, and then you brought people together, and then they destroyed our communities where we were building things, and we could no, like no, like we had our own cities, our own villages. Even in some places we had our own currency in some of these little towns and stuff that we built, and they came through and they fucked our shit. We had infrastructure, we were growing, and then here comes the civil rights movement bringing us all together, and now all of a sudden we the poorest motherfuckers on the block. I'm tired. And Martin Luther King, just like they said in the show, he was ready to ride on these motherfucking white people, and they killed him. See, bullshit. I'm gonna find that clip because I saw it on Instagram or Facebook or some shit. But nigga, so I love that shit. I loved how she put that in there. And Disney, I don't know if they caught it or they just didn't catch it, or they just letting her put shit in there. But Disney just because usually they don't tell the truth like that. They don't just let the truth be on some popular ass TV show like that. They be telling lies and falsehoods, just like they was telling lies and falsehoods about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and shit. Thinking Martin Luther King was about to blow some shit up. He was tired. Like, he said, fuck all this. I tried to be nice to y'all. I tried to be gracious and shit. Y'all over here, treating us like shit still. Like, we got into your schools, you throwing shit at us. And like, no, nigga, fuck all this. I loved it. So Jacob is teaching the true history of what went on with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and it's a magical thing, and Ava is loving it. Ava is inspired. And, Jacob, his little anxious tail. He's just like, she's in here. She's going to fire me. I'm not doing a good job. He's just got anxiety. Some shit happened to him. I think he has some issues with his family or something. So, that is being projected into every interaction he has. And he just overshares and over this is because he needs to go to therapy, and nobody's mentioned therapy once in this show. And so every time Jacob overshares, I'm just like, okay, are you going to overshare your way into therapy, into a therapist's office, Jacob? Anyways. So Ava is being inspired. She's just like, I like learning. And the thing is like, she didn't like school. But my thing is like, what was happening while you were trying to learn and go to school? What was happening at home in your life that may have impacted your dislike of school? Like, how are you going to, get good grades when you're in poverty at home, when you're being beaten at home, when you're being molested at home, when you're being emotionally abused at home? Why I'm thinking about what am I going to eat for dinner tonight besides crackers and ketchup? I don't know this division problem. And then you got these teachers in school who are racist, who don't want to understand that kids are going through real things, and then will look at the kid as if they're misbehaving and will treat them like shit. Okay? And then the kids will feel like they ain't shit and school is bad and the people here are bad and they're stupid and then it's just like this never ending cycle. That's why they talk about the school to prison pipelines, because these teachers don't be helping these kids like they're supposed to. Why are you a teacher? Why there are so many other things that you could do that don't involve working directly with people that will make you a shit ton of money where you don't have to. I think it's a power trip. It's the same reason pedophiles become priests. Not every priest is a pedophile, but the priests that are pedophiles became priests to be around children. It's the same reason like people that are sociopathic might become a police officer. It's a power trip. Like, that's the only way they can get off and stuff. That's the only way they can feel things. And I'm wondering if that's what Ava may have experienced during her time in high school and middle school and elementary school and shit like that. And so now when she's untethered from her environmental traumas that she was experiencing when she was younger in school, now she can actually access her true gifts in a positive, productive way that can lead her into a more positive, productive future where she can get consistent money and become the rich bitch she wants to be. Like, you can't be rich if you only thinking about getting money for today. Like, the money needs to be able to grow and expand. You need to be able to invest it so it can grow by itself. Like, the money can't just like, oh, I got $10,000 a day, and then you don't know how to budget the money because you got poverty trauma, so you don't know how to hold on to money because money's scary. And it's just like you spending stuff, you spending all the money away and all this other shit. So Ava, has got the spark. I think she needs to go to therapy too, because whatever happened during the school times, like, she needs to go to therapy for that and work through it in a professional's office. But like, I'm glad she got the spark. So she started taking classes, I guess at the local community college to maybe, I don't know. I'm sure she has her bachelor's. You can't be a principal without your bachelor's, at the very least. So I'm assuming she has it. So I'm assuming it's to get her master's. But for right now, she's just taking classes. So like, I could take a class just to learn some shit just to see. So like, I thought that was beautiful. Go Ava, yes. Right, it's this way because I'm gonna stab myself in the palm. Let me shut up. Anyways, let's get to the meat and potatoes. So Gregory and Janine. So this nigga Jacob, Janine has this kid in class who has a crush on her. And so she's talking to Melissa about this kid that has a crush. And it was funny. He was like, I could see me. Can you? He was looking at her. He was like, can you see me and you together? And I just kept thinking, no, all I see is jail and traumatized children when you make that statement. So no, not at all. Immediately no. was just like, no, like, what? But she wrote it out. And she was nice to him, and like he ended up like not liking her and liking some little girl. And I was like, right, that's. And they looked alike and everything. It was cute. So she's talking to Melissa in the hallway about what she should do with this little boy that got a crush on her. And Melissa's like, oh, it's just puppy love. It's not a big a deal. But Jacob comes in halfway through the conversation. So he thinks she's talking about Gregory because the kid got a special knock and he always fixing up her class and all this shit. And that same shit Gregory do. And so anyways, like he's like running off at the mouth because Jacob is just, gossipy and nosy. And he's like, oh, I'm so glad you finally know. And what is it like? And she's just like, it's just, the kid. He just, what are you talking about? And then he says Gregory's name. And she was just like, what? What? Because they both like each other. They're just not going to admit it to themselves. That's the problem. That's why they almost kissed in the snow when Gregory was wearing that thin ass sweater and should have been wearing a jacket. So they're both in denial to themselves. But so Janine, she can't get it off her mind. So she basically forces a conversation with Brenda and Melissa. And, the janitor is just in there because he's nosy. And so she forces a conversation with him, and everybody know that he like her. Like, and the thing is like Brenda and Melissa are so calm about it. They're just like, whatever. So like, yeah, we know. Like, y'all over there are the ones tripping. And the thing is, that's what happens with age. And I was like, vibes, bitch. Like, they wasn't tripping because they're grown. Like, this isn't that big of a deal to them. They've been that age. They've been through that shit. It's whatever. But Janine over there like, how y'all knew and you didn't say nothing? Da, 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 da. And it's just like, girl, calm down. Everybody knew because everybody, like, you don't want to believe people can do nice things for you and actually like you. You just accepted the nice thing. And I get it because that's the type bitch I will not know if somebody, I will just, in my head, it'll just quickly switch over to, oh, they're so nice. Look at him. He bought me flowers randomly out of nowhere. That's and shit because and the reason that happens is because a lot of men will do boyfriend shit and not mean it. And so a lot of women, and other people that like cis men, if they've experienced them throughout their lives doing shit like that, then a kindness is just like, oh, he's just nice. Like, we're not even gonna take it there anymore. After the 15th dude that I went on a date with, ghosted me after like doing boyfriend shit with me, I'm going to just not even, So then what happens is you go all the way to this extreme where you feel like, oh, I don't think anybody really likes me. Like, I don't think anybody would be really interested in me. And so when people start doing nice shit for you, it doesn't register. It doesn't register because you don't know what that not kindness, real kindness, and somebody flirting with you because they genuinely are interested in dating you and not just ghosting you. Versus somebody that's just a fuckboy that's just doing nice shit because they want something. Versus just a regular kind person. It all gets mushed together, and then you just like, to keep safe, I'm just gonna go to this extreme and just look at everything as kindness. Oh, you're just so nice. No, that is wonderful. Yes, great. And not even register that this person could actually be interested in me at all. And you do it for so long that you just become numb to the point where you don't even register. Like, you consciously don't register at all that a person could like you. At all. And so I think that's what's happening with Janine. She's just not registering it. But like, they've been through that. They grown. They know what that shit look like. They think it's funny that they don't register it, but they also know what that shit looks like because they've been through it. I just want to get there. I want to get there because that's a powerful place to be. So anyways, Janine basically like encounters Gregory in the hallway, and he's trying to like talk to her about something, but she thinks he's trying to tell her that he likes her. And good thing she doesn't tell him, because basically he just wanted to show the gift that he was going to give to his mom girlfriend. Girl, it was a Lego set of flowers. And don't get me wrong, I love a Lego set. I'll sit and Lego with you and, do some stuff. And I'll even take that as a Valentine's Day gift. That's a thing we could do together. And now it's an art piece that I could put in my house. Like, I don't mind that. But that's a niche enjoyment. you should know if your girlfriend's dorky like that or not. Like, you have all this attention to pay to Janine, but you can't pay that attention to the woman that you're with. You know this bitch favorite movie. What's your girlfriend's favorite movie, Gregory? And I think part of it is because Janine likes the same shit he does. And another part of it is because he likes Janine. He likes Janine more. He just don't know how to move in that direction because she got some stuff going on. So he moved over here with this bitch that like Telfar bags and shit. So she's just like, oh, this is the most wonderful gift. Girl, it's a wonderful gift for you, girl. This is a niche enjoyment. You need to know if your bitch likes Telfar bags or if they like Legos, if they want to sit and watch cartoons or if they want to sit and watch Love and Hip Hop. There's different people. And some people like all of it. Like, I could sit and watch Love and Hip Hop and I can sit up all day and watch cartoons. I don't like Telfar. I mean, look at the shit I be carrying around. Like, I made the shit. Like, I like artsy, weird shit, okay? Telfar bags just look like totes to me. Just like regular plain totes. And I'm trying really hard because it's a black-owned company. And they did come out with them really cute ones that are circular and stuff, and I like those. And that little duffel bag they had, but I didn't get them yet, so leave me the fuck alone. You know, trying to support black people. And so, you know, but I don't really, you know, but I think maybe I mainly like weird gifts. Like, I could do the Legos and shit. I like to go to fancy restaurants. I like tech. I still have not got a PS5 because they're nowhere. And I'm not paying above market price for a fucking console. I'm not paying $1,000 for some shit that's $500. No. I refuse. So I could have a PS5, but I'm not paying $1,000 something for some $500 shit. So, you know, I could do some shit like that, but the bitch you with don't, and you should know that. I don't understand why you know that, but that's why I said I think it's because it's things he likes, so it's easier to vibe and like see someone else's personality when they like are similar to you. And also because I truly most heartily believe he's on the spectrum, so that fixation stuff is even more fixy. You know, like than regular folks that aren't on the spectrum. Like, what is it? What is that? Non-neurodivergent folks. What is the word? I forgot. People that aren't neurodivergent, that aren't on the spectrum. Because we all can hyper focus, but people on the spectrum, they just like, they get fixated on things and stuff. So when you start lighting up them sparks, like, oh, like that, I like that, she like that, I like that, then it's like you notice that more, you know, versus the girlfriend that doesn't like the same shit you like. So what is it, going over your head? Are you not paying attention? I'm just curious because you got the flowers because she's allergic to flowers, but it's like, Gregory, you got them shits for you. You like flowers and you like Legos. Don't do that. Don't sit up here and be like, oh, you're allergic to flowers, so, but she doesn't like anything else. You've never heard her talk about anything else that she likes. You don't pay attention when she watches television or reads magazines or even just buys things for herself. Like, she wasn't, because she dropped hints when she saw the Telfar bag Janine had. She ain't been dropping, because that's a pattern that says that she's been dropping hints before and you ain't paying attention. You're not picking it up. You're not picking up what she's throwing down. Okay. Everybody's different, and you can't be dating people that are outside of what you need, and he don't need her. Obviously, when she walked in the building, her and Mo, like, you know, they got a connection. They got like a similarities. Mo gave this girl a Telfar bag. She's trying to put ballpoint pens with the top off in them and shit. I at least know that much. Like, nah, nigga, like, like, I gotta protect black woman bag just because, you know, black women and shit. I wore that thing once. It was big and blocky, and it was like, I can't, and it was like bright pink, and I didn't want to get it hella dirty and shit because I'm messy and I'm heavy handed. So this thing been in the closet ever since I bought that shit. You know, maybe one day I could sell it or something. But it was cute for the day that I got it. So there you go. Like, I like shit that's different. That's all. I just like shit that's different. That look different, look artsy, look weird. And so she don't even know what Telfar is. She calling it Teflon. She thought it was like a gift bag and inside was the gift. She just like, y'all don't belong together. He don't even know. He not even listening to her. He don't even know. But I'm not. I'm wondering even if Janine is talking about herself. Like at the date they went on, he was doing most of the talking. He was talking about all his traumas and shit. Like, does he even know her? Does he even know her as a person beyond that she's giving? That's it. Beyond her being giving. Does he know her as a person? Does he know her likes and dislikes? You didn't even try. Like, that's what like hanging out dates are for. Like the first few dates you just like, actual dates, and then like you do hanging out dates at like, the bookstore, or if you feel comfortable, each other's houses, and you just be talking and talking and getting to know each other and and then like that's where you learn shit like that. So I'm just wondering, like, he probably just thought, well, all black women like Telfar. I know, honey. Janine's not that type of. She's nerdy. She's dorky. Like she don't like that type of shit. Like, I mean, it's vibes though. Like, I like different shit too. Like, even like Gucci or Louis Vuitton. Like, I don't like the repeated pattern. Like, it looks ugly to me. But if they come out with some different looking type purses or some shit, I'd be like, oh, that's different. That's cute. I might. So I get it. But it's like, y'all need to know the people that you dating. Like, you can't just be like, and Gregory is the worst because like, you've been dating her for how long? Since the summer? Like, why now we in the second semester and you still don't know what your lady like? Y'all just need to switch. Just switch women. It's fine. You can switch. So that's where we kind of ended up at, like Gregory, like, and his mom girlfriend. Don't care. And Mo and Janine are walking out to school, and you could tell they need to switch. Like, they did that shit on purpose, and I'm just like, are they gonna switch? Because now, like, we keep dropping hints that they like each other. Like, it needs to just happen. Like, y'all keep dropping. Like, why are you making this build up and build up and build up? Like, just do this. Kiss. They better kiss in the next. Like, why they kiss Valentine's Day? Like, I don't. Whatever, girl. It's fine. So yes, that was today's episode. Did I leave anything out? I don't think so. That's how I'll be talking to myself. It's a magical thing. And I'm gonna need Janine and Gregory to do some shit, like get together, do something. I'm really hoping that this bitch went off on him when he got home and she broke up with him on Valentine's Day. And he come to school sad because he got a bitch Legos that don't even do shit like that. What does she have her house decorated with? What kind of clothes does she have? And if you don't know, like, if you truly do not know what your partner likes, keep it simple. Dinner and a piece of jewelry. Or if you know that they don't like jewelry, dinner and some flowers, and then go fuck at a motel with some lingerie. They don't like lingerie, dinner, some flowers, go fuck at the hotel, and maybe some money. Like, nobody turns down money. A trip. Like a little day trip situation. But no, bitches still want gifts though, even if it's a trip. Like, you can't just do an activity together unless it's like, no, I'm not even going, because women like gifts. Like, you supposed to get a gift at the activity. So let me not set nobody up for failure. It's like, but I bought out Disneyland and this restaurant. I'd be like, well, where is my gift? My lasting? Some women are like that. Like, I would be fine with Disneyland and dinner and shit. Fuck that. You bought out Disneyland. That's expensive. You got money, as Quinto would say. No, he got money. Right. But, like some women, like, they still want to give. They still want shit to hold on to remember this moment by, and they want it to be expensive shit, because some women are just like that. And if you choose to date a woman like that, you need to know that she's like that, and you need to know if you want to date someone like that, and if you choose to still date her, you need to adhere to what makes her happy when it comes to the loving and the gift department. Because, like, what's the point of dating her then if she's used to nice things? That's just who she is. Doesn't make you selfish because you're used to nice things. It's just you're used to nice things. It is what it is what it is. And so when you want a gift, if it's your special day or something like that, you expect a certain caliber of gift. Like some people are like that. Like I can't be mad at them for being like that. Like some people are cool with a little homemade something, little sitting at the house making some Legos and an art piece and shit. And some people like every single holiday they want some shit on the caliber of traveling to a different country or some shit. Like I'm a mixture of all of it. I don't care. Like I could sit at home and build a little Lego thing. Then next expenditure, we go travel somewhere. Next holiday situation, like I need a mix up of things. And so don't bullshit me. But everybody's different, and you can't be mad that you chose to overlook somebody's differences and then make them feel bad for it. If they're that way, then they're just that way. Like you can't get into a relationship, know who this person is. Just like I said on the Players Club video did. That's the last video. Like Diamond was a stripper when that nigga met her. And you just gonna sit up here and be mad because she has the same job she had when you met her? Like, sir, I don't see you making money enough to pay for her college tuition and her apartment and all the things she needs to pay for. Like, you're not contributing, it seems like, at all. So I'm confused as to why you're upset. So, it's the same with bitches that expect a certain caliber of things. Don't date them. But no, a lot of men can't handle the fact that the women that are really up there doing it and expects to be treated a certain way because they treat themselves a certain way, don't like them. Nigga, you need to get your shit together. If you want that woman, then you need to bring the same level of shit. If you can't, then you need to go find a woman that's on your level. Just like Gregory can date Janine because they both broke, they both dirty, and they both can build some shit off of that. They in a building phase, of their lives. And so they could both build together off of that because they're at the same place in life. No, this nigga gonna go after bitches with money. And then get mad when he gets his feelings hurt. Like, why are you going after bitches that have a certain caliber of expectations? Because some other nigga that has the same caliber could go after them and be with them and treat them the way they want to be treated. You're a place saver. You're wasting space. You need to go. Because you keep getting your feelings hurt. Like the bitch don't want Legos. That is a niche enjoyment. Dorkiness is a niche enjoyment. And there's a lot of black women out there that enjoy that, like Janine. That enjoy that shit. But this bitch don't. She was like, so you got that for me and not my kids? She was flabbergasted, just appalled. And I understood. I was just like, let me see. If somebody got me like, I had an ex that it was on Valentines Day, and I was like, I wish you would just at least give me some. This nigga went outside and picked a dandelion out the concrete and gave it to me in front of people. Because I asked him to give me some flowers for Valentine's. Nigga. That's what I mean when I say I let him do what? Girl, that's where I was at. If someone did that to me today, I would be appalled. Like, what the fuck is wrong? I mean, I was appalled then, but like, you gotta laugh it off and act like you ain't bothered by shit because you want to keep this nigga. For some reason, younger me wanted to keep that nigga. And I'm just like, appalled today. Appalled. Like, the audacity. Like, do I look like a bitch that would... Oh, Lord Jesus. But then I wouldn't be, because the niggas like that show patterns of that type of behavior from jump, and I was overlooking that then. I don't overlook that shit now, so I wouldn't get far enough along with some nigga like that who would do that shit to me today. So that's what I mean. Like, that's how she's looking at that shit, just like I looked at that dandelion. Like, you do not know me whatsoever. You do not know me at all, not even a little bit. Okay. But I don't know. I hope she breaks up with him. to today, that Valentine's, yes, break his heart because that's what he gets because you shouldn't be dating people that are above where you're at because you get your feelings hurt unless you're in a situation where the person is okay with taking care of you and y'all are just happy with that situation and there's nothing wrong with that situation, but this is not that situation because housewives and house husbands exist and all that sort of shit. So, and they're happy in their relationships and there's nothing wrong with that. And at the, them housewives and house husbands, they be doing work at home, so I can't even be like, oh, they don't do nothing. And no, nigga, they be doing some shit. No. Mm-hmm. So I want to see what happens next. I hope she broke up with him. I hope she immediately broke up. No, just didn't want to embarrass him in front of people. So she took him home and gently said, Gregory, I've been thinking and I just feel like we're not on the same pages. Like, I don't think we have that much in common. And yeah, I think maybe we should just step back from this. Maybe take a break from each other. Just rethink this situation because I just need to think right now. And maybe I'll give you a call in a couple weeks. Hurt his feelings, and see, and the way I said it, and the gentleness in it, like it's not meant to hurt your feelings, but it will because it's another bitch telling you that you ain't good enough. But when you get into situations where you set yourself up to be not good enough, that's what happens. We all have our own talents and our own places and our own fits. Like Beyonce will never be an actress, okay? She is a singer, a performer. She puts together shows. She's amazing at the things that she does. But she will never be an actress, okay? She acts like herself in every movie, and we all know that. And I know she wants that Oscar. I mean, I don't know this woman, but, I'm assuming that she wants an Oscar, or she wanted one at some point. And, maybe that'll happen one day for like a soundtrack or something like that. But we all have our own places, our own talents that we need to feed into. And then trying to do something we cannot neglects the things that we can. Like, I am not a singer. I am not going to beef up my voice and delude myself into thinking that I can be a grand singer the more that I don't have the tonal vocal cordage situation going on that you need to even hold a tune, naturally. So I'm not going to put no time into that. I know how I sound, but I am talented in other ways. So I'm going to pour energy into those ways and grow those things and try to make money off of those things and enjoy my passions in those ways. And that goes with every other area of life, not just jobs, our careers, financially. Like, why, when I was living paycheck to paycheck, would I have dated somebody that was not, unless they were willing to take care of me? And then even at the same time, my mental health wasn't even there to be in that type of relationship. So I wasn't even on that level I needed to be mental health wise to go try and do some shit like that. You know what I mean? So I beefed up my skills in finances. I beefed up my skills in cleansing my mental health. And now I am prepared for whatever God may send me. Okay, but I'm not going to be in one season of life trying to grab some shit from a future season and then ruin my whole shit. You know what I mean? And so that's what Gregory is doing. He's trying to grab some shit from a few. You're not a principal, Gregory. You don't make the money. And even Ava don't seem like she got all these side jobs and shit. You don't make the money for the women that you're with, and it is what it is. And you need to date somebody that is on your level so you can stop getting your feelings hurt. You need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy before you even date. Because why does he keep dating these unavailable women? Does it have something to do with your dad, Gregory? Are you always like envisioning like trying to fix your relationship with your dad by dating these unavailable people that aren't on your level and then hurt your feelings and make you feel like you're not good enough? Are you just constantly repeating feeling like you're not good enough and these are nigga? She's a smart hoe. Yeah, she is. She's a smart hoe. Yes, she is. She's a smart hoe. This nigga is repeating his trauma in his relationships. Like he's subconsciously, I'll say subconscious. He's subconsciously getting with women that he can never live up to, like his dad, and then getting his feelings hurt because he never can feel good enough in his relationships. Just like he never feels good enough with his dad. So I told you that little apology and acknowledgement and praise his dad gave. That's not gonna cure. That's not a cure all. That is not a cure all, nigga. This nigga is hurting. This nigga is hurting. Keep getting these stupid ass relationships with people that is gonna like make him relive his trauma over and over again of not feeling good enough. And he's not breaking up with these women. These women are just gonna break up with him because they're not manipulative. They're not. But he is in danger of some predatory woman coming. I'm assuming he just likes women coming along and manipulating that vulnerability in him and making him feel like shit and basically ending up having left his dad's home and being an adult just to end up back in the same situation, married to some toxic bitch that's abusing him. see, they're both keeping away from each other because of their traumas. Look at that. She's a smart hoe. Yes, she is. She's a smart hoe. Yes, she is. That's sad. That is so... See, that's why you need to heal. Trauma is confining. That is confining. I do not want to be confined by my trauma. Like, what if I bypass a fucking billionaire because no, I don't care. You may think I'm a gold digger. I'm not, because I still want to build my business and help people and do things. I just don't want to think about money because it gives me anxiety, and it gives everybody anxiety. And I know, but no, it gives me anxiety, intense anxiety. I hate money. I hate bills. I hate rent. I hate having to budget. I hate all of it. And I'm learning, and it's a process, and I'm making more money and all this other stuff. But this poverty trauma is a bitch, and I just don't, it would be nice to not have to think about it. So that is what I'm praying for. You got to reach for the top of the tops. You got to feel like you deserve the best, but you can only feel like you deserve the best if you feel inside like you deserve everything. I deserve the fucking multiverse, bitch. I don't care. I've been through too much. I deserve the multiverse, and whatever the fuck is out, I deserve infinity, bitch. So that's why I can see what they're doing to themselves, and I'm just like, I remember that. Cringy. I was making poor ass decisions, but that's why I keep saying therapy, because it's like, how do you heal from that shit without like somebody showing you? Because they're not aware of these things. Gregory's not aware that he's repeating their relationship with his dad and his other relationships. Janine, obviously, she projecting all this shit onto Jacob. She's not aware of how she is consciously. She's not consciously aware of it, And if she is, she'd just be pushing it down and be in denial about it and shit, and then be projecting it on other people. And it's like, I just, therapists make you aware of those things. And so I'm just wondering when that will happen, to help them become aware and the mechanisms of trauma and why you repeat it and normalize it so they don't feel ashamed. I've been through the shit. That's why I can recognize the shit and be like, damn. Just feeling red for filth every time I watch this shit. I was Janine, nigga, like, but I wasn't trying to fix everybody's problems. I just felt like I knew it all, and you couldn't tell me nothing. And if you tried to tell me anything, and then if I really loved you, then I would just be this overly giving. Then I become the fixer. Then I become that annoying bitch. And so, it's just cringy to see your past self, and just like, and also elements of Gregory shit, like not feeling good enough, and being so comfortable and not feeling good enough, and being so comfortable and feeling like love is something you have to struggle and reach for and never quite grasp, that you will look for that subconsciously in your romantic relationships, and even any relations, friendships, things like that. You're even like at work, getting attached to toxic coworkers and things like that, so wow. Mind is blown. Like, this nigga, I was like, there's nothing wrong with Gregory. He seems pretty decent. His dad, they have that thing, but he is fucked up. That nigga, we just don't see it at school unless he's having like some autistic meltdown because his structure is all fucked up. But then that's easily rectified when he, figures out how to figure out his structure. No, it's in his and because they don't bring up his relationships a lot. I wasn't even paying attention to that shit. I was like, oh, he dating that mom bitch. She's nice. And it ain't about her. But like, wow. They both fucked up. Gregory always needs somebody to make him feel like he's enough. But he never feels like he's enough. At the same time, Gregory always needs somebody that will dangle the carrot for him. Like, oh, it's almost praise. That's why he got excited by that little drop of crumbs that his dad gave him. Janine is going to give him a bushel of carrots and apples and oranges and a whole fucking orchard and shit. And he don't know what to do with that. He don't know what to do when someone actually thinks he's enough, because Janine had already thought about all that shit when she was talking about, when we could build Lego houses together and sit and talk about our future. She been thinking about this shit. See, that's why I think she's just in a denial. They know they like each other. She would give him the whole everything, every fucking thing. She would give him the sun, and I don't think he know how to deal with that. That's what he doesn't know how to deal with. Not her awkwardness or her weirdness, because he hopped to it to fix her shit. He just, I'm ready to fix it. This is fun. No, I think it's her love that scares him. Just like niggas. Just like scared of love, scared of commitment, scared of abandonment, scared of, of someone actually caring about them for them and them not having to actually do anything to be loved, just be themselves. Like, scared of all that shit because we don't teach them how to deal with their emotions and talk about their feelings and cry and shit and take responsibility for their emotions so that they can let them pass and not hold on to them and be emotional and do, aggressive things or avoidant things and all this other stuff. And so, it's sad. I feel bad for them. I hope they go to therapy. So, that's my 2 cents. That's why I keep talking, because more things start to come up as I talk. So this is probably going to be a long one. Oh well, you drink the rest of this. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed. It's like a puzzle. Like, I love cinema. Like, that was something me and my mom did when I was little. Like, she would have stacks of VHS tapes. She would always buy tapes, and we would just sit up and watch movies all the time. And I've just always been in love with cinema and acting, but I don't want to do it. My dream job would be to be like a psychological consultant for like movies and TV shows and shit like that. That would be so fun. That would be the funniest shit. I would be like, nah, that character, like, he don't look traumatized enough. Like, how does that part of the story connect to that part? Because that doesn't make sense. Like, when you go through trauma, you can't be so fucking fun. So this shit is fun for me. Like, I love doing this. Like, I be talking to the TV when I'm by myself. So this was just like me turning the camera on while I do it. So the only hard part is editing. It's just, you're probably never going to get some stylized editing from me unless like I hire somebody, and first I have to make enough money to do that. And I didn't make any money on my last video, Players Club, because I put that little tiny clip of Bernie Mac in there saying bucket naked and all of a sudden it's demonetized and shit. I'm just like, fuck it. R.I.P. Bernie Mac. I'm leaving it in. So I didn't make no money off of it, but I don't care. So, but this shit is fun. I love doing this. So I love that you guys watch and that you enjoy, and that I hope you learn some shit about like psychology and mental health and trauma and how it can affect you and stuff, because this shit is wild. Like, you see how he's dealing with his trauma, right? I didn't even notice that shit until this episode. I even noticed that he's going after bitches that dangle the carrot because his dad dangled the carrot. Trauma will brainwash you. That's why you got to be careful how you talk to people, how you interact with people, especially if you see them on a consistent basis, especially your children, because you will brainwash them if you don't let them be an individual enough. They need to figure shit out. They need to make mistakes. They need to trust you enough to come to you and talk to you about the mistakes so they don't make more mistakes. And if they don't do that, then they're going to either make huge mistakes where they could get hurt or injured or bad things could happen. Or they're going to be like sequestered and anxious and passive and won't be able to like build their own lives, because one day you'll die. The goal is that the parents die before the kids and the kids live on and next generation. So one day you'll die and you're going to leave a kid here. There's a show called I'm Dating a Mama's Boy. It's so good. It's just the psychology of these women and their emotional incest and how they have their sons like just attached to them at the teat. And I'm just like, so when you die and he's here by himself and his only significant attachment is you, how do you think your child's going to survive that? If he survives. Because now his only significant attachment is gone. And he's never learned how to attach to other people or even to himself. His whole life was you. Her whole life was you. Their whole life was you. You know what I mean? Like you're debilitating your children's mental health by not allowing them to be individualistic enough to make some mistakes here and there, and then to be able to trust in you enough to support them when they make mistakes. That doesn't mean like let your kids drink and do drugs and things like that. Blah, blah, blah. Let your kids, if they want to go on a date, let them fucking go on a date. If you vetted the motherfucker and you vetted his parents and you did it, then they stay 14, 15, 16. They go into the movies. Drive them there and pick them up and drop them off back home. You know, like if they gay and shit, like they gotta figure that shit out. Yeah, sometimes it could be a phase. Sometimes it could be because I'm mad at niggas, but they gotta figure that shit out. And they need to trust you enough to come to you and talk to you about it. And like a lot of folks have had that phase of I hate niggas, and so maybe I'm gay and whatever. That happens sometimes. Not all the time, not every single time. Like, did you know that there have been studies that show that there are structures in a gay man's brain that's similar to a straight woman's brain, and there are structures in lesbian women that are similar to structures in a straight male's brain? That trans women basically have the same brain as cis women. There's like, look it up. Look up transgender. Like, I looked this up a couple weeks ago. I was just like, what is the bio? And then they're so close to finding like some genetic marker to that decides like gender and sexuality and shit. So like nobody, one day when they find it and they figure out gender and sexuality biologically, I hope it shuts every motherfucker up that ever did anything or said anything to one of these little LGBTQ kids, because they end up killing themselves and homeless, and they end up with all these years of trauma, and they couldn't even help that shit. Now it's proof. We shouldn't need proof, but now it's proof. So you gotta let people be themselves. You gotta let them figure it out. And you gotta let your kids learn how to trust you enough to come to you and talk to you about them, that type of shit. And then you can work together on figuring out who they are. You're just there to guide them, give them advice. But at the end of the day, they gonna have their own lives that they gotta live. And you can't stunt them by sequestering them from the world as if they're not gonna grow up and be in the world. You can still be influenced as an adult. Like, you know, like, it don't make no sense. I'm confused. So that's my rant. That's my tangent. This was probably like an hour. Oh well. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you thought about this episode. Later days.